Now, Curtis, I will say, you've been all over Bill Belichick, and maybe rightly so, for the promotion of Matt Patricia to offensive coordinator.
It's working well.
Tom E. Curran suggested yesterday, and I believe we have the audio, that this may not be an ongoing thing. Here is Tom E. Curran.
I would say absolutely not 100% back as the offensive coordinator. Executives who are very familiar with the Patriots who've said, look, guys spend their entire careers preparing to be play callers and offensive coordinators. As much as anyone knows, you don't just plop them down in that seat and say, okay, start directing the show.
So the entire reason we have Matt and Joe coaching the offense was that Bill did not want to bring Bill O'Brien back for fear that he would depart after one successful season.
Yeah.
So not only have you sacrificed a year of growth, we all agree that Mac has regressed, and we all would say in part that's due to the coaching, correct?
Yes, we would all agree with that.
So instead of having a coach that maybe maintains or elevates Mac in his second year, thereby lessening the importance of the third-year guy in the event that Bill O'Brien left, we have now taken a single year, removing the incredible growth that Mac had last year with McDaniels, bringing Mac down, and then we're just going to replace them next year with someone else. Like this, of all the decisions you can quabble about, play calls, Brady, whatever. I understand what Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick decided with Tom Brady. They didn't believe he would be as good as long, and they decided he wasn't as invested. That's a business decision on a 43-year-old quarterback. I think it was wrong, but it's not without a calculus that you can understand. This I have no understanding for.
Curtis, I believe the word is quibble.
Ooh, shots fired. Boop, boop.
Oh, I said quabble?
It's okay.
That's a past tense, baby. Quabble.
Oh, my God. I need to do
It's
a
like
lap.
Boar and Bear, you know? I tell you. Shots fired. Boop, boop.
We knew what you were saying.
My admitting that I told Jackson to do that has totally put Courtney in a tailspin.
I don't know what it is. There are a lot. It's probably the Taylor Swift tickets first and foremost.
That is first. Then Jackson just giving his 2 cents.
Then Wiggy defending Hardaway.
Oh, of course.
And then, it's just gone downhill from there.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it.
I'm going to stay on Courtney's good side today.
You know, Taylor Swift.
That's a first for Shine.
That sparked it all. But I don't agree with them moving on next year.
You don't?
No, because then it's almost like Bill Belichick saying the move that he made was a failure, right? And I just can't see Bill doing that and basically even bringing up more questions, right? Oh, Bill, you made a mistake last year. Now the new guy, whoever the new guy is, if he comes from, let's say it's Nick Caley. Well, why didn't you hire the new guy last year?
Yeah.
What made you wait a year?
Yeah.
Right? And where else outside of football are you going?
I mean, if there was going to be a new guy, would you expect that it's going to be somebody from within, or do you think Bill is willing to go outside of his coaching tree to get?
No, it's going to be somebody that he has a connection with.
See, I think he has to be willing to go outside the tree.
He's not going to be, though, I don't think.
But I think
he never does.
I think he's coming to the realization that he may have to be. Like, you're coming to a point where there's not much left in the coaching tank for you to pull from. Like, you brought back Matt Patricia and Joe Judge because you trust these guys, and the offense straight up stinks. Like, there may come a point where Belichick is like, I have to go to some other tree, to like a Shanahan tree, to another family or person that he trusts, and pull someone from them.
But why would you
I have
that?
the answer. I have the answer for the coordinator next year. The Cardinals stink. We all agree. Is there a chance Cliff Kingsbury gets fired?
Oh, I would say yes.
He's a guy that came from the Patriots. He is a brilliant, young offensive mind. That would be my guy to hire.
But would Cliff ever do it?
I have no idea.
See, I don't know if they will fire Cliff Kingsbury because Rich Keefe had me on this one. If you look at him since he's been in Arizona, they've been getting better year in and year out. But I'll play the game with you. If they do fire him, does he then maybe say, you know what, I'm going back to college?
I just think he can get a head coaching position, whether it's in the NFL or in college.
Well, that's what I'm saying, in college.
Yeah, and I think he would do that over being an offensive coordinator.
Right, and if you feel like that he can get another head coaching opportunity, I just think that Bill won't go outside of his tree, and if he does, it's somebody like a Bill O'Brien that he already has trust in.
Ooh, good point from Nick in Boston on the Twitch chat. Belichick has a daughter. Maybe she could be the offensive coordinator. The Suns are on defense.
Wow.
She's big in lacrosse.
Curtis, what about this guy?
Brian Hoyer, the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
Can you play that again? I love that drop.
Brian Hoyer, the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
I have 7 syllables in quarterback.
Because Bill has never done that, so I don't think he's all of a sudden going to wake up one morning and go, you know what? All right, I've been doing it like this for 40 years. I'm going to change.
And this late in his career, why would he?
No.
Why would he introduce somebody new that could give him a headache?
Don't you think they've given him a headache this year? Patricia and Judge?
See, I don't know.
No.
I said this on WEEI Football Sunday. It looks like Bill has more loyalty towards his coaches and Matt Patricia in this case than he would towards his player. So,
Meaning Mac Jones.
Meaning Mac Jones. I feel like it's more likely that Bill would go, we're getting a different quarterback than a different offensive coordinator.
Remind me again, as a Mac hater, what percentage of his regression do you put on the coaching this season?
I would probably put about maybe 40% on them.
Okay, that's significant. Shime, you're another Mac hater.
Yeah, I think that sounds about fair. About 40% would be to the coaches. Yeah.
But do you think that there would have been more wins if Josh McDaniels was still the guy here? I don't think that the actual,
The win
record
total may
would-
not change, but
Yeah,
the
I don't think
offense
the
would look
record would
better,
change.
though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the offense, to me, the offense, and we argued about this yesterday, hasn't looked sharp. Right? Especially with Mac in a quarterback. Yeah, you got the 3.5 quarters in Baltimore.
Wait, you don't think you would have won that Chicago game if nothing had changed and Josh McDaniels was still your offensive coordinator?
No, you would not have.
What?
That the Chicago offense, that was the first game that they figured it out.
Right.
They knew what they were doing. They started doing designed runs for Justin Fields. He had 10 designed runs in that game. It was the most he had ever had in a game. And now all of a sudden he's the best running quarterback in football.
And at one point,
you weren't going to win that.
And at one
game.
point in time, you led that football game. So it was more about what your defense didn't do. Right?
Bingo.
So I look at the Josh McDaniels, and maybe your record's the same. Maybe you have, 6 wins versus 5 wins, but your offense would look sharper with Mac at quarterback.
Yeah.
Now the biggest question, because of the loyalty aspect.
I think you beat the Ravens and you beat the Packers.
Well, but you would have had the same scenario with Hoyer that you had, whether it was Josh McDaniels or not. So you still would have dealt with Bailey Zappi coming in that game.
Right. I don't think Josh McDaniels is conservative at 2nd and 5 with the plus 46 with a chance to win the game with the field goal.
It's so, but I think the biggest thing that you have to look at is, where is Bill's loyalty? Is his loyalty more towards Matt Patricia, or would it be towards Mac Jones, in the sense, like, how much do you think he puts on the coaches? Because you just said,
I
like,
think he puts a lot on them.
Versus how much he puts on the players.
I think he's a guy who feels like he can figure it out regardless of who the person is, and maybe he'll be proven wrong on that.
Loyalty-wise, though, he's definitely more loyal to Matt Patricia. We've seen it year in, year out.
Yeah.
And
That's his guy.
I think Bill Belichick and Tom Brady each took for granted. Tom took Bill's attention to detail and dedication to a simple task of winning a game, and Bill took for granted how much Tom took on running the offense day to day in terms of clutch moments and just operating and getting guys in the right position.
Yes.
Both of those things have been evident this season.
All right. Well, Tom E. Curran suggesting that it's not a done deal that Matt Patricia will be back as the offensive coordinator next season.